check. 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Check. Mic check 1 2. Camera. Let's see. Right there. Right there. Oh, I'm hearing.
Oh, that was me. I just made that sound with my violin. This is so cool, your setup. So professional, Paul.
Thank you. Can you believe I didn't know nothing about streaming until about April? Is when I just learned, bought all the software, bought all the equipment, went hard.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
You know, we were stuck at home, right?
Teach me a few things or two. Yeah, we've been stuck at home. Nothing to do but to learn something.
Yep.
Yeah, the only thing I've been doing is working on client projects.
That's still good.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but you know, you always like to up-level your skill set.
Yeah. Two minutes and 30 seconds, guys. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
I like your theme song.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the things. Like, hey, any little touches that I can add to the show, you know? Yeah. So actually,
did you write that yourself, or did you hire someone?
Yeah, I hired someone.
Oh, okay, cool. That's cool.
I see 15 of you guys out there. Don't forget to say hi in the chat. What's up, Bradley? What's up, J5? What's up, Adrian? James, Carol, Glenn, Bev, Andrew.
Can everybody hear and see us?
They could just see the countdown, and they can hear us, you know, just chatting, just kind of like behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. Well, hello everyone. This is so cool. Hi, Ben.
What's up, Ben? Hey, Shar. J5. Happy birthday, Shar. I'll see you tomorrow.
Did you get a new haircut, Paul?
No, I cut it every Wednesday, let it grow out a little bit, you know, just for the show. I cut it myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
All right, we got 1 minute. Let me go ahead and get everything set up.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO. You will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO Video Show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show, where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre De Vera, and I curate videos, SEO videos that are released within the past week or so into like 1 minute clips. And my favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest. And my guest this week is Z Scott. Be sure to stay till the very end for a special live performance. But before I get started, I want to say hi to everyone in chat. I said, hey, Adrian, J5, Shar, Ben, Bradley, James, Carol, Glenn, Beverly, Andrew, and everyone watching the replay. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let's get on with the show.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Why are SEOs good at game shows? They know how to get quick answers.
John Mueller put out a video this week on 307 redirects. Let's check it out.
307 redirects are generally not real redirects. So what does that mean? Well, when you make a site HTTPS, you can optionally use HSTS. HSTS tells users to only get the HTTPS version of a page. So when a user enters a URL or clicks on a link that would otherwise go to HTTP, the browser remembers the HSTS and goes directly to the HTTPS version. To make it clear what's happening, it acts like there was a redirect. Chrome calls this a 307 redirect. So if you use Chrome and you see a 307 result code with a tool, it's not really there. When it comes to Googlebot, we try to crawl URLs with a fresh slate. So we wouldn't keep the HSTS lists and rather just directly access the HTTP URL directly. If that URL redirects, which is usually the case with an HTTP and HTTPS site, we would follow that. So in short, Googlebot doesn't see the 307 that you'd see in a browser, and that's fine.
307 redirects, it's something, we do with HTTPS. I mean, I'm all about 301s. There's a little information on 307s. Last week, we learned a little about BERT. It's been making a lot of noise lately, especially with the new passage-based ranking. Have you ever searched for something on Google and you found yourself, when you hit the page, you hit Control F to find what you're searching for on the page because the page is just so long? I feel that passage-based ranking should eliminate this. Let's listen to Marie Haynes' current thoughts on how passage-based ranking will change SEO.
BERT is particularly good at understanding the intent behind a query. Google's new change to their algorithms, getting better at understanding the intent behind a query, combining that with the fact that the quality raters are being told, can we figure out whether this page actually met the needs of the searcher? Did it satisfy the intent, the reason why they came to this page? And when you combine that with the fact that Google's now saying, hey, we're going to get really good at pulling passages out of pages, they're getting better at determining which parts of pages are actually answering a searcher's query. This is the future of SEO. And so I was asked recently to contribute to an article on, this always happens near the end of the year, right? What is your prediction for SEO in 2021? And I really think that the buzzword or the buzz phrase that we're going to be using is optimizing for intent.
A common theme this past week was all about intent. Authoritas gives us a quick overview on broad intent categories. Let's listen in.
There are a few ways we can break down search intent. And there are kind of three main categories that Google talks about, which they call do, know, and go. But more broadly, we refer to them as transactional, informational, and navigational. And transactional is when someone wants to make some kind of commercial interaction with a business, whether that's buying something, signing up for a service, anything like that. And one step behind that is this fourth category, which is research on the Authoritas platform. Which is when people are kind of researching products and other commercial things, but they're not quite ready to go and make a purchase yet. So maybe they're making comparisons or looking for the best in a category or something like that. Then informational is incredibly broad, sits behind everything else. It's when people are looking for anything really, but they're not planning on going and making some kind of business engagement. So it could be questions about anything from the natural world to cloud computing to whatever. And then finally, navigational is where people are using search as a shortcut to a destination that they already know. They just don't know the website they want to type into the browser, or they'd rather just go through Google, and it's really just a shortcut for them. It is a lot more complex. It is more nuanced than that. You can break them all down further. But as a starting point for our strategies and thinking about this, those are some really helpful categories we can use.
Commercial intent, I would have to say, is pretty much in the bottom of the funnel, and it's probably one of the most profitable. You're in luck on helping finding those type of keywords and phrases. Check this out.
Hey everyone, Robbie Richards here. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 quick ways you can find loads of buyer intent keywords for your business. And I'll be using a series of working examples just to show you how these tactics can be immediately applied to pretty much any type of website, whether you're working with a local business or an affiliate site, all the way through to an e-commerce store or even SaaS companies.
Robbie is one of my SEO teachers. Robbie goes over subfolder analysis, subfolder gap analysis, investigational keyword modifiers, comparative keyword modifiers, Organic-PPC gap analysis, solid research techniques in less than 20 minutes. You have to check out that video. Link is in the description, so be sure to check that out. So why is all this important? Why is mapping using intent critical to SEO? Eric Enge explains.
Well, it's Google's keen understanding that user needs are really complex, even when the original query may look like a very simple and straightforward thing. Satisfying a large percentage of your users to your site must involve thoroughly mapping the entire user need set. This is actually pretty complex and typically involves extensive research, talking to customers, product managers, product marketing managers, service people, salespeople, seeing what ranks high in Google on queries and more. But the bottom line here is treat the process of completely understanding the wide array of user needs related to your products and services as a journey. It's gonna take time, and prepare to go 5 to 10 times more deeply than you ever thought was possible before.
So you gotta check it out. I mean, it's not just about keywords and topics research. Go even further on finding who your customers are by interviewing people on your customer marketing team, looking at reviews, and just see what people are talking about and see what your customers' intent on buying or whether they're just researching and stuff like that. Jumping into another topic that came up a couple times this week was on domain authority. Cyrus from Moz Whiteboard Friday gives us a few use cases.
What are some practical ways to use domain authority? Well, a very popular one with the old DA as well is judging the potential value of a link. So you might use DA as a filter to find the most valuable link targets. A DA 90 might be more valuable than a DA 5 or a 10. Judging keyword difficulty. Judging when you look at SERPs and see what is my potential of ranking for this SERP with this particular keyword. If you look at a SERP and everybody has a DA 95, it's going to be pretty hard to rank in that SERP. But if everybody has a lower DA, you might have a chance. Very popular in the agency world is link campaign performance or campaign performance in general. And this kind of makes sense. If you're building links for a client and you want to show progress, a common way of doing this is showing domain authority, meaning that we built these links for you and now your potential to rank is higher. And a popular one on the marketplaces is buying existing domains. Sites like Flippa often show, DA or some similar metric like that. Never buy a domain just on domain authority alone. You're going to want to look at a lot of factors such as, the content, the traffic, the domain history, things like that.
Be sure to watch the whole clip on domain authority on the Moz channel. I mean, this is Moz Whiteboard Friday, but it was released on Tuesday. I guess they're just releasing a bunch of videos out now that were pre-recorded. But in contrast to this, the SEO Conspiracy channel talks about why domain authority in SEO is a bad idea. Let's listen in.
The concept of a domain having authority is at best a simplistic idea, and at worst it's completely wrong. It's totally dangerous to think that Google's algorithms are trying to do things because you've got a link from a good website. A good website is not how Google is storing information at all. They're storing information in 2 ways. They're either storing it by the web page, or they're storing ideas and entities and then connecting ideas to those entities and topics. The influence of a website as a concept, I think, is wrong. I think every page on the internet has to stand up to its own, has to stand on its own. And the only reason that we keep on getting focused on, domains as opposed to pages is because we associate ourselves with brands. And I think that the homepage of a lot of websites are very, very strong.
Exactly.
So the homepage is very, very strong, and that can then influence, how those pages link will influence massively the effect of the internal pages within there. But
so domain authority is cool, but what you should really be paying attention to, which I agree as well, is your page authority. Each page has its own authority. I mean, the home page is not your domain; it's your home page, which has the most page authority. So think about that when you're thinking about page authority and domain authority. This is Moz's metric, so you can go ahead and check out their tool. The tweet of the week is from Danny Sullivan. As you know, I am an international SEO, and if you're translating content into another language, they say make sure you also don't forget to translate your title tag and URLs and meta descriptions. I mean, I know in some of my websites I translate some of the URLs, but I mean it's not all of it. But again, URLs, you can make an argument that's not as important. But hey, Danny Sullivan from Google mentions, hey, you should translate it too. Okay, that completes my news of this week. I want to go ahead and introduce my guest today. Let me see here.
Z is hosting Getting Down to Business with SEO and Women-Led Radio. She's a dynamic digital marketer, violinist, and mom who's passionate about empowering entrepreneurs to find their voice and drive value in their communities. She has an MIT degree in Science of Informational Technology Management. She has over 20 plus years experience building websites and is currently the Chief Digital Strategist for TSQ Marketing. She has the book currently available on Amazon titled Search Engine Optimization and Marketing for Small Business. Please welcome Lady Z, the SEO Queen, Scott.
Lady Z, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Paul?
Good. Let me, I want to make sure and see here. Okay, so I'm curious. You have the SEO Queen trademark. Tell me all about that. Where'd that come about?
Well, I trademarked the SEO Queen because I've been building this brand for a long time. And I have to give a shout out to Fraser Hay from Grow Your Business Club in Aberdeen, because he is the one who brainstormed with me to come up with this brand. And so when we were rebranding my agency from what it was to the SEO Queen, we came up with the SEO Queen, and I bought the SEOqueen.com, SEOqueen.com, the SEOqueen.net. And I was looking through some hashtags earlier this year. I was looking at the SEO Queen hashtag, and I saw this young lady using my hashtag, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. So I contacted my attorney and filed the paperwork, and yeah, so that's basically what happened. I was, every now and then you do a little reputation management, and so that's what I was doing, a little audit as I do, to see what comes up for my name and my brand names, and so I was like, let me deal with this. And then the other day, I monitored my brand mentions, and again, I saw she was on some podcast using that as her handle. So I'm dealing with it slowly but surely.
Oh man, but you're the original SEO Queen. You got that TM on there. I mean, I want to mention to you, I want to introduce you in a way to top Michael Muse. I remember I was watching a video of him introducing, like, oh wow, I'm going to top his intro of Miss Lady Z.
Oh my God, can I have a copy of that video? I love that. Oh my God, I'm going to put that on my Instagram.
You bet. Okay, so I mean, you got it. I'll send that out to you. I mean, we talked about how your professional growth to getting into where you're at now with the marketing agency. So how did you actually get into like SEO? Like what was like the stepping stones of you like getting there? Take me early in your career. I know you like right out of college, when you graduated from MIT, you started working for, as a web development applications developer. Was that right?
Yeah, after I graduated from MIT, my first job was working for Raytheon, a Fortune 500 company, as a web applications developer. But my technology journey starts sooner than that. Like before I was born, before my mom met my dad and his mom had a conversation at the kitchen table, and she told my father to pursue this career in computers. And so that conversation pretty much laid the foundation for, the childhood that I have, having an Atari, having a Commodore, seeing, punch cards around the house, seeing, the green and white striped papers, seeing my dad program and him showing me how to write little basic programs in BASIC. And I didn't even take AP computer science in high school. I just knew that I was either going to major in computer science or information technology. And when I got to MIT and I saw how much studying that all the kids had to do for computer science, and I wanted to be active in the orchestra and student government and other things, so I decided to do the business degree because it was a little less heavy lifting. So that's how I decided on my major.
I got it. So, okay, when you got into Raytheon, how did it develop from there?
So I worked at Raytheon for about a year, and then I went and got my master's degree in public policy at the Ford School of Public Policy at University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. And then after that, I started working in smaller businesses. I just found, working with, small, medium enterprises was much more fulfilling because I could see directly how I was having an impact on the bottom line through my activities. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So, from there, like, how did you even hear about SEO? What was that one thing that just say, you know what, I'm going to get into this and I'm going to start a huge agency off of it? Congrats on a recent contract that you just closed. Congratulations there. Nice.
Thank you. And so, when I graduated from MIT, Google was starting to become a thing. And I remember always being fascinated with, DMOZ and Yahoo and just how things are found, like Dogpile, AltaVista, now DuckDuckGo. I've just been, fascinated with, information and how it's organized. And it just kind of grew into an interest. And then I had an opportunity to work with a small technology company out of Novi, Michigan, around 2010. And so I basically grew their whole web development SEO department from zero to just my book. It was just $500,000 in recurring revenue, not including special projects. And so I was on the sales side and the fulfillment side. And it was just an awesome experience just getting into SEO. I had some mentors that along the way who told me, make sure you go to industry events like Search Engine Land and Search Engine Journal whenever they have things. So I've been there. I've been to DigimarCon a couple of times. And I really am a strong believer in networking and going to professional events and always studying and improving. I wish I had more time to study because SEO is always changing.
Oh yeah.
Always new technologies to learn and master.
So how are you, you like networking and that's something that you're doing. How are you still networking now, and how even though it's kind of stuck at home, are other ways you're networking right now?
Well, the two organizations that I'm very, very active in, I'm on the technical marketing team for the LA South Chamber. And so I'm working with them to put together a marketing series that includes both SEO, website design, and social media marketing that's starting in November. And so I'm very active in the Los Angeles South Chamber. You can go to lasouthchamber.com to learn more about that organization. And I'm also working on the technical marketing team for Connected Women of Influence, which is an organization started by Michelle Bergquist out of San Diego, California, which is now nationwide. Since this pandemic started, they've opened up a national chapter. And you had the opportunity of coming on my podcast on Women Lead Radio, which is a program of Connected Women of Influence.
Yeah, I was going to bring it right since we're talking about podcasts and connected women and influence. I mean, thank you for inviting me to your podcast. That was awesome. So I wanted to get into your podcasting, tie in here, because it's about SEO and actually it's more about even business and sales and tying it all together. Like, so how do you find your guests for your podcast, and how do you find like certain topics to talk about for something that you're doing constantly?
Well, one thing about the audience of this show is you have a lot of really advanced SEO professionals that listen to the SEO video show. But my audience, I have found, which are, solopreneurs, small business owners, professionals. A lot of people, even though we talk about SEO all the time, have no clue. And so I really focus on the basics, just really understanding the power of SEO. What is it? Expressing the business case for SEO, because a lot of people, are stuck on social media. They don't see the value of having a website. I don't know how many people know this, but in 2014, only 50% of businesses in the United States even had a website. And most people didn't have a website because they thought it was required too much technical expertise, and they didn't trust other people to execute it effectively for them. So now we're in a point where, I think it's more like 80-90% of businesses do have websites now, but, less than 50% of businesses have a effective marketing strategy. So right now it's, I'm working to educate business owners about what they can do to draw more people to their business. One of the ebooks that I've written it's called 101 Ways to Improve Your Marketing and Sales. And that's one of my free items of value that I always give out to folks when they're listening to my interviews and stuff. You can get it on SEOqueen.com.
You got it. Okay. Speaking of books, this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm curious because I want you to like guide me way on how I can do this. How can I get my book on Amazon? How can I get started on getting a book written? Like the ideas, how long did it take you? Tell me your journey of how getting your SEO book onto Amazon, because I want to do it too.
Okay, so this is what I did. So first, I did keyword research onto what people are looking for on Google and also Amazon. There's tools that I use to identify what keywords related to SEO that people are searching for on Amazon and Google. So I also looked at how competitive the term was, and then I landed on SEO Training 2017, Search Engine Optimization and Marketing for Small Business. And then what I did do after that, I had already been blogging for quite some time when I was working with a small tech company. And so I took those blog posts and then I basically just expounded upon that and did keyword research on what people are looking for, and also based on my interaction with other business owners. And then I built out an outline and then basically filled in the empty spaces that I had. I literally used blog posts that I had already had written years in advance to be the foundation of that book. And then I just also, beefed up certain parts up as well. Did some more research on statistics. I really think, statistics and numbers are very important when creating the business case for SEO for business owners, and communicating that value is critical.
So when you got your book ready to go, it's all, put together, what was the process of getting it into Amazon and, selling it on the platform?
Okay, so what I did was, one, I became an Amazon affiliate, because there's no point in having a book on Amazon if you can't get paid for both the book and for when you share it. So you got to double dip.
Hey, if you put a book out there, make sure you got.
Yeah, make sure you're an Amazon affiliate. And,
got it. Yeah, double dip.
I was going through my bank account information the other day, and I was like, oh, here goes another affiliate payment. I like that.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you're an affiliate, and then when you publish your book, you can use Amazon has Create Space and a few other publishing platforms, and you can either publish through there or you can find someone else to help distribute your book. But I pretty much just created my own account and formatted the book per their specifications and pushed it out there.
So did it all yourself, and when you published it?
Yeah, I did have a Kindle book template that I did use. Fraser Hay, who's been like my day one business coach, he gave me, well, I bought a template and he gave that to me, and I used that and, you know, just customized it for my own. But there's also some other tools that are really, really cool that you can use. Like if you want to put an ebook out there, you can use this platform called, I think it's called Designer. I'll come back to the video and put it in the comments. But what it does is you can put each link in what order you want from your blog, and it pulls it together and formats it in a gorgeous format for ebook.
Interesting. Nice. Because I don't know if you know this, but you know, publishing a book on Amazon actually launches your own knowledge panel on Google. I mean, you have your own knowledge. Have you checked out your knowledge panel on Google? You can see.
Yes, I have. I love that. Oh my God, I'm all for the goodies on Google. I love those goodies.
I mean, because you know, it's all about EAT now. Right now, it's like you know, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, and you know, to filter out through the noise. You know, there's certain keys and things that you can show that you're an expert and authority and trust. And then, you know, having that knowledge panel, Z Scott, author. I mean, if you're trying to sell some services or anything like that, they can Google you and boom, it's like, oh, okay, she knows what she's talking about.
Well, you know what? The thing that was so frustrating to me when I was just selling SEO services back in the day was the fact that, you know, people are like, who are you? And trying to build that trust. And I got so frustrated with it. And I knew when I launched the SEO Queen, I wanted to, you know, eliminate those types of conversations. I wanted the conversations to be, okay, what is your goal? How are we going to reach that goal? That's the type of conversations I wanted to have.
Yes.
And, you know, being out there, you know, blogging, I want to blog more, but I do blog once a week. And, you know, doing interviews like this and just being accessible and consistent is really important to, you know, for that brand equity in the marketplace.
Be consistent, be out there, put yourself and build your brand. I mean, again, that's awesome. So I want to go into one more thing. Your public speaking. I mean, like, you know, I find like SEOs can, you know, are public speakers, love speaking, you know, speak at conferences, and you put out a great inspirational video on Sue Talks. I mean, tell me a little bit about that Sue Talk. And I mean, I love how you were able to tie SEO in all together. I mean, is it something that, you know, you prepared for quite some time? And break down that story, because I'm curious on how you put together that and how that came about.
Okay, so Sue Talks is a program brainchild of Connected Women of Influence. There's Dina Potter and Michelle Berquist. They partnered together to create this program as a counterpart or alternative to TED Talks. And Sue stands for Successful, Unstoppable, Empowered Women Changing the Face of Business. And I applied and pitched them with my speech, and I was selected. And it took me about, I think we worked on the speech for 2 to 3 months before I went on stage. And basically we had a theme, and I came up with my speech around that theme. And, you know, integrity and resilience is something that's really important to me, and it's important for SEOs who are doing phenomenal work, because there's a lot of people out here in the SEO field who try to sell a bill of goods, and they either mislead people or can't deliver, don't know what they're doing. So it was important to me to kind of share a case study where, you know, one of my clients' domain had gotten hacked, and they got hacked to like 200,000 pages of like Cialis content on their domain. And I had to figure out like how to secure their domain and de-index all that crap. So securing the domain part was easy. Just change the server, lock it down. But the de-indexing from Google, that took a lot of patience and attention to detail, but we were able to get it done.
Nice. Okay. I noticed that, you know, even like with your current content strategy or your current SEO strategy. I was, I'm doing some research on you, and I saw like looking what the TSQ marketing is doing, and I saw like, you're big on press releases. Is this part of your overall SEO strategy on with press releases?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually on Google page 1 for Black-owned SEO company, and that was through a press release that I did on blacknews.com. I think blackpr.com is a great resource. The owner of that site, Dante Lee, he has a phenomenal book of relationships, and the press releases go out to quite a few outlets. Like I've had clients get picked up by YourWeb. I've had clients get picked up by a ton of different blogs and sites through that distribution. And I think, press releases are just the easiest way to get high value backlinks to your site.
It's working for Lady Z, the SEO queen. So check it out. Press releases are great for backlinks. I mean, this is something that I actually personally do myself on creating press releases, whether it's like even just making a quick announcement, whatever you can just talk about, just put a press release on it,
right,
and then get it out there, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean,
so I actually like prlog.org. It's a really good website that I like to use. I have my own press release room there. If you're optimizing for different clients, you can create press rooms for them and push out, different topics. If you want ideas on what is press release worthy, they actually have categories there. So when you're filling it out, you can see, okay, you can do, new product launch, new website launch, new event launch, there's a whole list.
Nice. So was it prlog.org? Was that what it was?
Yes, prlog.org.
And what are press rooms? Like, so basically just a collection of press releases? Is that what?
Well, this is another way to get backlinks to your clients. So if you create their own press room, the press room takes their logo, you can have a link to their website, plus all the press releases related to their business. So you can, when you create your own press room, you're creating like a landing page for that business. So that's another way to create some great backlinks as well.
Knowledge bomb, press rooms for backlinks. Check it out. Okay, Miss Lady Z, I got actually asked this question to all my guests. It's like, so if someone wants to get into SEO and become an SEO professional, what would you tell this person how they would get into SEO?
I would tell them, read Neil Patel's blog. Like you talked about your teacher earlier today. My SEO teacher has been Neil Patel. I've been following him for years. I subscribe to his email list, and oftentimes I will look up and see, what does he say about a certain topic? So he really sold me on the value of Google Webmaster Tools. And also when Google Analytics migrated all the keywords out of Google Analytics to Google Webmaster Tools, he kind of held my hand through that process, because I kind of freaked out. That I don't know how many years ago that happened, but I was like, how am I going to do my research? But but Neil Patel was definitely a great resource. I think there's no substitute for experience, and you really have to just, take a website and optimize it for yourself. So if you're trying to get into SEO, you can check out my blog. You can check out my book on Amazon, SEO Training 2017. I think, you really have to read everything. I think the Art of SEO is one of those, I forget the publisher, but it's that thick book.
They just actually put out a new one. Yeah.
Oh, they just put out a new one?
Like
I need to get the update.
Yeah, there's a new one that just came out.
So that book is, the thing that's so crazy about the book is like really thick, and a lot of it is like, oh yeah, I know this, but there's always some times where you have to go back and look. Like, I think the concept that took me some time to really wrap my mind around was the canonical tags, and really understanding how to implement those and why they're important. And then the redirects, those can be tricky to understand, and really having some reference books is really great to a great resource.
Got it. Love it. Okay. I mean, yeah, my buddy Tim Rourke, who's in the chat right now, loves Neil Patel, follows him all the time as well. I mean, I want to go ahead and take a look at the chat and see if we have any questions. Let's see here. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat right now. It goes, here's one question. What are the stepping stones to become an SEO king?
Well, you know what? That's going to be a tough one because when I was filing my trademark for the SEO Queen, I filed a complaint on this other young man that was trying to trademark SEO King, and I own the SEOking.net and all the royal family. I own all those .coms and .net.
Oh,
so.
Interesting. Any reason why you did that?
My son is Prince of SEO, and once he gets older, he's gonna have his own little brand, and
Oh, perfect.
keep it in the
That's
family.
looking out.
I love your sound. I love your show.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead Okay, now we come to the best part. The next best part of the show is like when I get to tie in music with the show, and you're gonna be like the only second person to do this live. And if you guys didn't know, if you saw the intro, Miss Lady Z is a violinist, a real good one at that. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and put her up on full screen, and I hope before she goes, make sure you guys don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for next week. And let's go ahead and watch her and listen to her to sign us off. Let's see here. All right. Thank you.